Hi everyone, Savannah Tree Foundation Field Manager Jake Henry here, and today we're doing an updated video on trees and shade, the benefits that they give us. We made one of these videos about 2 months ago, and I wanted to do an update as it's gotten a little hotter, just so we can see how those surface temperatures actually change as the air temperature increases. So I'll actually post those temperatures throughout this video so we have a nice comparison to see just how much of a difference it makes when the air temperature goes up here in the summer. So just for reference, in that last video, it was about 80 degrees Fahrenheit air temperature, and today it's about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have a nice, just solid 10-degree increase in our air temperature. And we're gonna look at surface temperatures in a couple scenarios. So here in the sort of grass and dirt, sort of bare soil, we're gonna look at that in the shade and in the sun. And then we'll look at the surface temperature of the road, both in the shade and in the sun. Because not only shade is important, but the surface is important too. So we have to know what it's made out of, you know, how much heat can it actually absorb. And the asphalt here on the roads really can absorb a lot of heat. So let's take a look at that. We've got this handy dandy little temperature reader here, and this will give us the surface temperatures of whatever we pointed at. So let's start here in the shade, looking at this sort of grassy soil. So that's about 103, 105 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's pretty hot. It's a good 15 degrees above the air temperature, and that's in the shade. It's, you know, mottled shade. It's not complete shade, but this is what we typically get with a lot of the live oaks here. All right, now let's look over here in the sun, still on this sort of grassy dirt area. That is, let's see if we can see it a little bit better, about 150 to 155 degrees. It's jumping around a little bit. We'll say 150 seems to be the average. So that's 60 degrees above the air temperature. That is really hot. Again, this is just dirt and grass, so it's still absorbing quite a bit of heat. That surface temperature is pretty hot. Okay, so let's go look at the shade over here on the asphalt. And I'll move it around a little bit because it is, remember, it's mottled, so it's not complete shade. So we'll try not to be biased too much here. Well, that's pretty good. That's 107, 106, somewhere in there. So that's pretty good. So we can see, you know, not much of an increase from the grass in the shade to the asphalt in the shade. So this tree's doing a pretty good job of, you know, keeping this surface cool. All right, so now let's look at the asphalt over here in the pure sun. So we're about 145, almost 150 degrees over here as well. So it's actually not that much different here in the grass and bare soil. So this is absorbing a lot of heat here. So that's pretty cool to see that there's actually not much of a difference between the grass and dirt. Now granted, not a lot of grass here, it's pretty bare, but still a lot of heat absorbed by both. When we looked at the temperature between this sort of open soil, grassy area and the pavement, at first I was a little confused about why they were so close together. So typically I would expect this to be a little bit cooler, and I think I came up with the right explanation. So one of the benefits of having open space like this is water. So water can actually penetrate through the soil, stay in the soil. We'll have some groundwater, you know, a little bit of moisture held there, whereas you can't get that on the asphalt. You know, it sort of runs off, it goes down into our drainage systems, so it doesn't stay here. One of the benefits of having water in a space like this is water actually holds a lot of heat, and then it's able to evaporate. So plants utilize this. They evaporate water off their leaves to help cool the leaf surface so it doesn't get too hot. And I think one of the reasons we saw such a similar temperature between these two is because it's been very dry lately. So there's probably not a lot of moisture in the soil, if any. We can see, you know, some of this grass is a little bit brown, so it's probably a little harsh here in this soil. So that's likely the explanation for that similar temperature between these two surfaces. So maybe I'll come back out again and take a look after it's had some moisture and see if we can find a difference there as well. You know, even just standing here right now, the difference between standing in the shade and standing in the sun is just incredible. You can really feel it. So this is one of those really powerful benefits of trees, is this shade that they provide us. Now it's not just a comfort factor as well. So I mentioned in my last video, the shade can actually have a lot of other benefits. So by cooling the asphalt and pavement underneath the tree, it actually reduces maintenance costs of the asphalt and pavement. So that's one of those hidden sort of economic benefits of trees that may not be noticeable at first sight, but especially with this really intense heat we get here on the coast in Georgia, it really can provide a lot of benefits. And we'll post another update video. If I can get a day of 100 degrees air temperature, we'll do another update just so we can have a nice linear comparison. But thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Take care.